Can you solve this challenging integral? Let's explain how to solve it step by step together. Near the end of the video, there will be a small challenge for you to take on, so make sure to watch the full thing. First things first, we know that e to the 2x is the square of e to the x. If we explicitly show that, what do we get? Notice that we can factor an e to the x term in the numerator. Doing so, we see that a substitution u equals e to the x will simplify things, because du is e to the x dx, and we have an e to the x term in the numerator. Together with dx, this will be du. And now, every e to the x in the integrand can be replaced with u. The result is this algebraic integral, which looks a little bit simpler than the original integral involving exponentials. But how do we go from here? We have this square root in the denominator, which is annoying us. So how do we get rid of it? Typically, we use one of two methods. The first way is to try a substitution, where you take some variable and set it to this entire input of the square root. If we let, say, v equals 3u squared minus 6u minus 1, then dv will be 6u minus 6 du. The problem is that the numerator is 2u minus 1, and this is no multiple of 6u minus 6. So this substitution won't work. The second method of dealing with the square root is to try and cancel it by factorizing what is inside, hoping it'll be a perfect square. Unfortunately, the quadratic we see is not a perfect square. But what we can do is try and complete the square. So let's see how we can do that. We'll take 3 outside the quadratic. 6 over 3 is of course 2. We'll now take radical 3 outside this square root, like this, and this can be taken outside the integral. We're now ready to complete the square because the leading coefficient is 1. The result is the following. Expand this quadratic and verify that you get the same integrand as earlier. We can now use a trivial substitution, v equals u minus 1, just to help us see things a little bit more clearly. dv is of course du, and the integral in terms of v becomes 2v plus 1 in the numerator, and the square root of v squared minus 4/3 in the denominator. Okay, we're making progress. What's the next step? You can actually split this integral into 2 by separating the fractions. 2v over the square root can be solved using a simple substitution because 2v is the derivative of v squared minus 4/3. But then the other part, which is 1 over the square root, will have to be solved using trigonometric substitution. Trigonometric substitution is a method I've demonstrated multiple times already, so let's use it again now. Since we will have to use trig sub anyway, I won't even bother splitting the integral into 2. I'll do the trigonometric substitution all at once for this entire integral. What do we have? The square root reminds us of the Pythagorean theorem because if you have a right triangle with hypotenuse v and leg 2 over radical 3, then the other leg, by the Pythagorean theorem, must be the square root of v squared minus 4/3, the square root we see in our integral. Let's set this angle, for example, to theta. Secant theta in this triangle would be v over 2 over radical 3. Remember, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, so secant will be the reciprocal of that. Tan theta will be the square root divided by 2 over radical 3. So this gives us the substitution we need. Solving for v, we get 2 over radical 3 secant theta, and solving for the square root, we get 2 over radical 3 tan theta. The last bit of information we need to complete the trig sub is dv. To get that, we'll differentiate the equation for v, giving us 2 over root 3 secant theta tan theta d theta. Let's now transform the integral from the v world to the u world. We have the following. 2 times 2 is of course 4. And notice that 2 over root 3 cancels with 2 over root 3. Tan theta also cancels with tan theta. And the result is this integral. Let's distribute the secant theta, and we get this. And let's just enter the 1 over root 3 inside the integral. Let's bring it back. This gives us 4 over 3 secant squared plus 1 over radical 3 secant. This is the integral we have to solve now, and we know the antiderivatives of both. This gives us 4/3 tan theta. The antiderivative of secant theta is a standard result. It's the natural log of the absolute value of secant theta plus tan theta. We're done integrating, and that's why we have the constant of integration c. But the quest is now to resubstitute back from theta to v, and then back to u, and then finally back to x. Only then will we be completely done solving this integral. So bear with me. Remember, secant theta was v over 2 over radical 3, and tan theta had this expression in terms of v. So let's resubstitute. We'll insert this instead of the secant theta, and the tan theta will be replaced by that. Let's make this a little smaller for you to see. There we go. By the way, if you wonder why I do this, it's because I publish the same video on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. So I have to stick to the vertical orientation. Now, let's try and simplify things a little bit to make the resubstitution easier to see. Every division by 2 over radical 3 is basically a multiplication by radical 3 over 2. So let's write that down. Let's cancel the 4 and the 2 in the very front. And now what I want to do is use this root 3 to enter it back inside the square root and make the coefficients integers instead of fractions. I'm going to do the same thing for this radical 3 as well. We get 3 times v squared minus 4/3, and if we distribute, we get 3v squared minus 4. So the square roots are a little more compact now. The next step is to notice that inside the natural log, we have 2 fractions with the same denominator, so we can add them together. And even better, we know from properties of logs that a natural log of a quotient is just the difference of natural logs. You'll have the natural log of the top minus the natural log of the bottom. But the natural log of the bottom is only a constant, so this can be lumped together with the constant of integration, leaving behind only the natural log of the numerator. Now, the constant is not c anymore because it has the 1 over radical 3 natural log of 2 with it, so perhaps you want to call it something else, like k, for example. Okay, we're making progress. Remember, v was u minus 1, so if we resubstitute that, we get the following. V becomes u minus 1, like that. And now, if you expand the quadratic inside the square roots, you will get back that quadratic we had in the denominator of the integral, if you remember. 3u squared minus 6u minus 1. So this is starting to look familiar. The last step is to substitute back u equals e to the x. So if we replace every u by e to the x, this will be the result. Okay, is there any more simplification we can do? If you noticed, I removed the absolute value sign around the input of the natural log. So I'm claiming that the input of the natural log is always positive, allowing me to drop the absolute value. Can I do that? Is it allowed? Let me know what you think. This is the challenge question for you. But in any case, this is the final answer of the challenging integral we started with.